Most lethal wild animals kept as pets. The Hyena Man. Hyenas are known for being vicious, ruthless scavengers who will execute humans in a heartbeat. In fact, most communities in Africa will avoid contact with these wild animals at all costs. However, in some countries people have learned to live alongside the cackling hyenas, even feeding and petting them. In Ethiopia, humans and hyenas have lived peacefully for 200 years after a rocky history. Centuries ago, hyenas used to attack townspeople until they came up with a smart solution. They carved holes in the city walls and threw scraps of meat out to keep the bees at bay. Since then, people like Abbas Yusuf have used this technique to feed and train the ferocious hyenas and even attract crowds of tourists. He's even known as the Hyena Man, and he inherited the unusual skill from his father, who also managed to tame these wild beasts. Messi the Mountain Lion. Mariah and Alexander Dmitriev adopted their puma after spotting him at Saransk Zoo in Penza at just 8 months old. They fell in love with the furry cub and managed to convince zookeepers to let them take him home. Surprisingly, they agreed, and this brave Russian couple fell in love with their dream pet Messi. The puma is now a 90-pound fully grown adult and shares a small studio apartment with his new human owners. They even converted their hallway into a lion's den, complete with a tree hidey holes and walls made of bamboo. It seems like Messi is living his best life. Mariah and Alexander take their pampered puma out for walks, feed him a diet of raw meat, and take him for training sessions 4 times a week. Kojak the Croc. This domesticated croc lived like one of the family in Bogor, West Java for more than 21 years. Erwin and his wife even described Kojak as one of their grandchildren, even though he's 9 feet tall and 900 kilograms. While owning exotic animals is a common occurrence in Indonesia, keeping a gigantic croc as a pet certainly is unusual. They adopted the reptile when it was just a tiny baby, measuring a measly 10 centimeters. However, this cute critter eventually grew up. They fed their pet crocodile a whopping 2 kilograms of fish every day. And their human grandchildren even brushed the reptile's teeth with no fear for their safety. The Lion Whisperer. Kevin Richardson was nicknamed the Lion Whisperer by a British newspaper back in 2007, and the name seems to have stuck. This big cat lover runs his very own wildlife sanctuary near Johannesburg, South Africa, and a viral video of Kevin playing with his lions has been viewed more than 25 million times on YouTube. Richardson is a very unique individual and has loved lions ever since he first worked at Lion Park in 1998. One day he bonded with 2 7-month-old cubs named Tao and Napoleon, and he visited them every day for the next 8 months, forming a lifelong connection that would change the rest of his life. The lions adored Richardson and his confidence to roar and interact with them. Hulk and his dynasty. Meet Hulk, the largest pit bull in the world. This enormous dog weighs a staggering 174 pounds. His proud owners Marlon and Lisa Grennan are the founders of Dark Dynasty Canines in New Hampshire, and they train their dogs specifically for protection services. When Hulk fathered 8 pit bull puppies, each one of them were expected to fetch a whopping $55,000. This pit bull papa and his pups live together as a pack without fences or barriers, and they're so well behaved that they can interact with young children. This gentle, well-balanced family is a stark contrast to how the rest of the world often views this misunderstood breed. Russian breakfast with a bear. This Russian family welcomed a giant brown bear into their home with open arms. Stefan has lived with the Pantelenko family for over 25 years, after being adopted at just 3 months old. He is a real member of the family. This adorable bear even eats at the table and cuddles up on the couch to watch his favorite shows. It's pretty unusual to live with a gigantic brown bear, but the owners have an extremely special bond with this wild animal. They found Stefan as a tiny cub orphaned in the woods near Moscow and nursed him back to health. eventually adopting the bear as if he were their own child. The brown bear is totally tame and has even officiated at a wedding. Lion cubs for the grandkids. These unbelievable pets had a rough start in life when Palestinian refugee Saad Al-Jama saw these 2-month-old lion cubs at Rafah Zoo. He fell in love with the captive cats. The zoo had been damaged by airstrikes, and so Saad decided to adopt these majestic creatures and take them home. In the southern Gaza Strip, these big cats soon became a part of the family, and they named the female cub Mona and the male one Alex. His 6 grandchildren loved playing with the cubs, and they would run around the apartment and play fight out in the streets. However, cute little cubs don't stay cute little cubs forever. Before long, these small lions were starting to grow up and become more and more fearsome, and keeping up with their huge appetites for meat was proving to be expensive. Rex the Water Monitor. This definitely isn't your average pet. In fact, animal experts claim that the water monitor is actually impossible to domesticate, due to the fact that they're so aggressive and lethal. The water monitor has been known to crush bones in humans, and it's also highly venomous. A bite from one of these giant lizards can result in excessive bleeding and swelling, and they can grow to over 7 feet in length. However, these freaky facts didn't put off the owner of Rex the Water Monitor. She adopted Rex when he was just 2 months old and named him Rex, because he looked so much like a terrifying Tyrannosaurus. This long lizard was raised with dogs and dines on an unusual diet of rabbits and squirrels. This huge beast weighs 50 pounds. Rex even dresses up as a dragon for Halloween.